Hey everybody, Andrew Zimmern here. Welcome again. AZ Cooks Instagram Live edition coming to you Thanksgiving. I hope your bird day has been absolutely fantastic. If you ate earlier in the day, you already are wondering what you're going to do with your leftovers. If you have a nighttime event planned, it's sandwiches at midnight after you're done cleaning up, and then what are you going to do with your leftover turkey meat unless you invited a swarm of hungry locusts, or you have a lot of teenagers in your house. I'm sort of in that place myself, so I can sympathize. I think I have enough for 30 people, and teenagers just ravage the place. But we are always looking for things to do with our leftovers. Today I'm making turkey a la king, which is one of my favorite leftovers of all time. It's creamy, it's unctuous, it's delicious. It rescues dry turkey breast if maybe yours is a little overdone. So huge thank you to our sponsors, the good folks at Shun Cutlery, makers of some of the finest steel in the world. I love them. Thank you for your support. And Flor de Caña rum, fantastic, the world's most ecologically sustainable rum that there is out of Nicaragua. Okay, so let's get down to business. The first thing that I want to do is make sure that I have all of my ingredients together, because this tends to move rather fast since only the vegetables need to be cooked. The turkey doesn't need to be warmed up. Whether you have 2 cups, 3 cups, or 4 cups of turkey, it doesn't matter. It's several cups of turkey leftovers. Onions, sliced mushrooms, peas, carrots, red pepper, celery, sage. If you only have 1 onion, because you may be doing this on a day when your stores are closed and you don't quite have this ratio, that's fine. If you have more than 1 pepper to deal with, that's fine. It's not going to throw things out of balance. What you want to think about and by the way, you may have half a rutabaga sitting in your refrigerator's vegetable crisper. Dice that up and use that by all means. You don't want to use a lot of starchy things, not a lot of tubers. Like, don't put sweet potatoes or potatoes in there. It tends to glop things up. And you want to make sure that you don't use tons of vegetables that are just sweet, which is why I have things like mushrooms and onions. Yes, all vegetables have a sweetness, but we know that red peppers and carrots have a lot of sweetness. Onions have sweetness. So I do have some things sort of cut through that. And the first thing that I want to do, why don't you come around here? I'm going to turn my light on. I'm going to melt a little bit. Oh, yes. Luca likes to, the minute the light goes on in the kitchen, this guy knows exactly what is going to happen. Daddy is cooking. So I've got a low heat on here. I like to use a pot like this because I'm going to have liquids in here. We're going to have liquids, right? And so consequently, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have something high enough so that when I'm stirring, stuff's not going all over the sides, right? Exactly. Luca can smell turkey already. And all I want to do is increase my heat once my butter starts to melt and get it nice and foaming. So I have it on a nice high heat. And the minute, do you see those little foaming bubbles? Right? That means I am ready. And I have a big enough pan here. I'm actually going to do my onions and my mushrooms at the same time. I'm just going to get some nice color on those. Now, why do I want to get some nice color on those? Because a roasted mushroom and a roasted onion done in the pan has a better flavor than a raw mushroom that's cooked in liquid. Come on around. I'm going to throw in this sort of big woody sprig of thyme. This big woody sprig of thyme is going to aromatize the entire dish that I have. And I'm going to take this opportunity. I like to season everything as I go cumulatively. Just is easier for me. And yes, for those of you that are avid followers of this series, we are in my home kitchen. Not back at the kitchen studio. I get lots of notes from people who are like, oh, that's your kitchen at your house looks really nice. That and I appreciate that. That's our kitchen studio where we do a lot of shooting. This is my home kitchen. Huge shout out to the folks at Gaggenau USA, from whom I bought my appliances. I absolutely love Gaggenau stuff. It's sleek, it's functional, and it's super, super powerful. It's the most powerful and well-designed stuff on the American market, just my opinion. And all the cabinetry is from the good folks at Pustelli, also the world's most sustainable company in their category, which is cabinets. And you can fit so much cool stuff in here. We've done a lot of segments over the last year about how functional they are, letting people take a peek at my spice drawer. Maybe we'll do that again. Maybe even today. But I'm just boiling a little bit of noodle. You can put this over rice. You can put it over leftover mashed potatoes. You can put it over quinoa, farro, you name it. Noodles, egg noodles, it's great over. And I can see here, if you guys come around, we have some color already developing. If I pull away these mushrooms and I flip this one over, you can see it's starting to brown, right? And I'm gonna let that go just a little bit more. I may move my sprig of thyme over, and this is just, I don't know what to call it, but just food management, pan management, I don't know. But I'm just stirring my onions about. And you can see the ones that I flipped over are nice and brown. Show you a nice brown one there, right? That's the kind of color that I want on all of them. And you can use whatever mushroom you like. These are shiitakes, just thinly sliced. And when I see that, I'm gonna start incorporating, see all that color come on the mushrooms, I'm gonna mix it around with my onions. And those onions, and that, I can smell the thyme in here. That's gonna caramelize. Now, in the recipe that I have, and this is very common with a lot of recipes and a lot of books, people will ask chefs, food writers, whoever's doing the book, I ask you in the recipe to remove the onions and the mushrooms, and you might want to do that the first time you make this recipe. If you've done recipes before that incorporate a roux, whether it's flour oil or flour butter mixture, to thicken liquid, in this case it's going to be stock and cream, what I want to make sure above all other things is that you're working safely with the heat. So it's always easier to ask you to remove the vegetables and then do the next phase and then build the dish. Today, and that recipe works great. Today, I'm gonna build everything in this pan because I'm gonna pour my butter and flour right in here. And we're just gonna add our sherry at the end. So come on over here, take a look. I'm just looking for light color on my onions. My mushrooms have caramelized. I've got that nice streaky stuff on the bottom of the pan, right? That's all I'm looking for. I'm going to throw a little bit of oil. Simmers right away. Remember, 1 cup flour, or 1 cup. 1 tablespoon flour in 1 tablespoon of fat will thicken 1 cup of liquid. So I've got my 2 tablespoons in there based on the volume that I have. And all I want to do here is get that raw flavor out of my flour. That's all I'm doing. It's just cooking my roux in a little bit of this fat. I know the juices are out, gone from the onions and the mushrooms. How do I know they're gone? Because I browned them. And remember, you cannot brown in the presence of moisture, right? So I'm just cooking my roux. And I know it's gonna thicken up really, really nice. Next thing that I wanna do, celery and carrot. Red pepper. cook those. There, we'll get some thermal momentum going, drops the temperature in that pan. We're just going little by little by little to build our turkey a la king. I absolutely love this. Let's throw in a little bit of dried sage. Someone asked me earlier today, why not fresh sage? It's a much different flavor. Fresh sage, I use a lot more than dried sage. But fresh sage has got a very, very strong medicinal flavor that I love. It's one of my favorite herbs to work with, especially in the fall and winter months. But I don't want that big sage flavor. I just want a little bit of gentle, nutty sage flavor, and that's where dried sage comes in really handy. I can hear that sizzling. My carrots, my celery has now reached a certain temperature, right? So I know that it's no longer cold. And all I'm going to do is add a tablespoon or two of sherry, because I love the flavor of sherry in things that have mushrooms, but I especially love it in dishes like this one. And we're gonna add a couple ladles of warm chicken broth. Now, does the warm chicken broth total up all of the cups of liquid, thickening my veg? Watch this. This is like magic. As that chicken broth pulls together all of that roux, it starts to thicken rather quickly. It's kind of a nice texture. We can always add a little more broth, but we're not going to need to. And the reason we're not going to need to, whoop, the reason we're not going to need to, I'll add a couple of cups of my turkey. We're going to add some salt. I'm going to add a few more tablespoons of stock. You just want to be able to see the stock come together a little more because we're adding cream and we can always add more stock. I hope, especially at Thanksgiving, you have lots of turkey broth going. So in goes my cream. And I don't need to worry about my roux thickening my cream. And the reason is that cream, when it cooks, will thicken all by itself. And I throw in some peas. One of the easy peasiest recipes that I know how to do. And boy, like this is how you make, by the way, makes a great stuffing for chicken pot pie. It makes an easy, if you have a lot of leftover chicken and you want to make an easy braise to go onto rice, by all means, go ahead and do that. And I don't want to boil this too hard, so I'm just going to turn that down to a low temperature. I'm going to take my noodles, which are done, and just tip out the water. You don't always need a colander.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Whichever one I'm making right now. It's probably the stuffing, right? I mean, I can't get away from stuffing. I love it so much. So you just put a little bit of noodle in there. Stuffing, gravy. I much prefer leftover turkey stuffing and gravy to the day of. I don't know why. And probably because I do a hot open-faced turkey sandwich. So I just put a little portion of noodle in there. And I just, I want to make sure that everything in here is heated through and simmering. And it is. While that is finishing, it needs about another minute or two. Give that its final season. I want to show you something. We have great carving videos on our website, and if you, obviously, if you're on this, you subscribe to my, you already know about my website. We've alerted you for days about our Thanksgiving packages and our carving tutorials and all the stuff that's on there. But if you're new, one of the things that's really great to remember is that this turkey, and we have a whole breast here, if you buy these, they're going to go on sale this week. Talk about a great thing to do. Buy these airline turkey breasts. I mean, I happen to be a big fan of turkey. I love turkey sandwiches. I like cooking turkey. I like making turkey soups and turkey a la king and stuff like that. And you can see how expertly this was roasted. But it's so easy to roast a whole turkey breast with crispy skin, nice pink meat that's not overdone. Just pull them off the breast. This unit right here is going to be half price starting the day after Thanksgiving. The day of Thanksgiving, any market that's open is going to charge you twice what you would normally pay for it. But this right here is super easy, just to slice thin against the bias with a nice short knife. Makes a great dinner, easy to carve. That's how we created our leftovers, was by dicing the meat off the breast. But we have lots of videos on this on our website, but I would encourage you to eat turkey more often than just Thanksgiving. Some people are turkey lovers, I am. Some are turkey haters, I am not. But I'm also a proud Minnesotan. #1 state in the country for turkey production. I bet that was the next question, wasn't it, Abby?
Yeah, that was my next question.
All right, so I'm gonna put this right down here. That thyme flavor has infused it, so the thyme has done its job. And you'll see what we do with some people like to throw black olives in here. I'm not against that by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, look who's back. But this is just, I don't know, the most perfect, delicious, yummy Thanksgiving leftover. Super simple. And then take a little Italian parsley. You know, I would do more than this for serving a group, but just a little fresh parsley on there. The aroma of fresh parsley that's not over minced is just gorgeous. And you can also, there's nothing wrong with picking a couple of fresh thyme leaves if you have it. I tend to buy a lot of herbs, fresh sage and thyme and rosemary when I'm cooking big holiday meals. I always have stuff left over. Put it out there, right? Let that zing, right? I have to reward the. Do you want some of this? I want you to see I'm a responsible dog owner. Come on over here. Luca, sit. Sit. Luca, sit. Okay. Huh? Do I have this down or what? Yeah, you got to work for it. I'm going to make you chew it. Yep, there you go. There you go. All right. Who loves you? I love that dog. Okay. Easy, simple, perfect leftover. Use this recipe inside your chicken pastries for your new chicken pot pie. That sherry flavor, that mushroom flavor really comes zinging in. You can do this simply with leftover roasted turkey meat or chicken meat or duck meat or roast beef, same thing, and put it over noodles on rice for a quick and easy weekday meal any time of the year. Anyway, thank you, Shun. Thank you to the good folks at Florida Cagna. Happy holidays to everyone. Thanksgiving kicks off an incredible time of year for all of us, no matter what you celebrate. Something is being celebrated over the next 2 months, and I'm glad that we were able to share some time together. And this has been a wonderful year, expressing lots of gratitude and love for all of you. Spread kindness. There's not enough of it in the world, and we will see you next week live.